Alrighty guys, we're back for some Merfolk Jank, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath, Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks, and any decks with a red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? Let's go over the Merfolk first, shall we? Vodalian Hexcatcher is a 2-mana 1/1 with Flash. Other Merfolk you control get +1/+1, and it also has Sacrifice a Merfolk, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1. Honestly, pretty decent card all around, huh? It's just kind of waiting for more Merfolk to show up in Standard. We also have Deeproot Wayfinder, another just decent card all around. It's a 2-mana 2/3, and when it deals combat damage to a player or battle, surveil 1. So you would look at the top card of your library, you may put it into your graveyard. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Well, that could come in handy, huh? Got more Merfolk here. Vodalian Mindsinger. This is a 3-mana 2/2, and it has two different kicker costs here. One kicker cost is for 1 and a red, and the other is for 1 and a green. That 1 in a red is my excuse for being allowed to play this deck on the channel, huh? Because technically there's red in here, right? So Vodalian Mindsinger enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it for each time it was kicked. So if you kick it once, it's a 4/4. You kick it twice, it's a 6/6. When Vodalian Mindsinger enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature with power less than Vodalian Mindsinger's power for as long as you control Vodalian Mindsinger. Pretty cool, guys. It's a neat one, and it also works pretty well with that Hexcatcher, huh? Okay, more Merfolk, our last one, and it's our top-end one. Kiora, Sovereign of the Deep, is a 5-mana 4/5 legendary creature, Merfolk Noble, has Vigilance and Ward 3, nice. Whenever you cast a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent spell from your hand, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that spell's mana value. You may cast a spell with mana value less than X from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So what kind of Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, and Serpents do we have in here? Well, more top-end stuff. Hullbreaker Horror. You guys remember this one? Oh my goodness. It's a 7-mana, 7/8 with Flash. It cannot be countered. It's a Kraken, so it works with the Kiora. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. So you can either return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Yeah, Hullbreaker Horror is just, it's just so good, guys. Like, where has it been? It's so weird that this doesn't see play, right? I think it's weird at least. So we also have Tidal Terror here. This is a 6-mana 5/6 octopus. Whenever Tidal Terror attacks, you may tap 2 other untapped creatures you control. If you do, Tidal Terror can't be blocked this turn. Okay, that's not too bad, honestly. Like, if there's a lockdown board state, this could help you wrap up the game. But another reason to actually have this is the island cycle in here. For 2 mana, you can discard this card, search your library for a island card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So we kind of sort of look at this as like a 2-mana card over a 6-mana octopus, but it's also in here because it's an octopus, so it works with the Kiora, right? So what else do we got packed in here, guys? We got all 4 Fading Hopes, going to be pretty important in a deck like this, I would say. We have a single Spell Pierce. I think it's going to be decent. We have 3 Syncopates. Now, with 25 total land, I do think that this is the style of deck that Syncopate likes to be in. So it's X and a blue, counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Yeah, and the exile comes into play more often than you would expect too. So, yeah, 3 Syncopates. We got all 4 Make Disappears in here. I mean, of course, I think this is the best counter spell in Standard right now. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? We see Make Disappear everywhere, though. It's going to be excellent in here, especially when we actually have ways to use the casualty in a deck like this. So we have 3 Joint Explorations. This is a 2-mana instant speed with kicker cost for a green. Scry 2, then draw a card. If this spell was kicked, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So we have like a little bit of ramp in here with the Joint Exploration and the Deeproot Wayfinder. So maybe we'll actually be able to get these Tidal Terrors and the Hullbreakers down a little bit easier than we would initially expect, huh? I think joint exploration is just great overall, and I guess we do usually want to kick it, so we kind of think of it as a 3-mana card, but I would say don't worry too much about the kicker cost overall. So maybe we consider it a 2-mana card. Either one, I think it's going to be relatively decent, honestly. You just keep this open with your counter spells and you're happy about it. We got Invasion of Segovia in here. This is a 3-mana battle siege with 4 defense counters. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 blue Kraken creature tokens with trample. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then if you end up getting rid of those defense counters, it flips into the Cadus Sea Tyrant of Segovia. It's a 3/3 serpent. Non-creature spells you cast have convoke. Okay, that's a little ridiculous, right? At the beginning of your end step, untap up to 4 target creatures. Just like a solid card overall, honestly. Now, how battles work is, yeah, whenever you remove the last defense counter, you exile it, then cast it transformed. Unfortunately, that just doesn't work with the Kiora because you have to cast it from your hand. But man, that would be cool if it did work that way. You know what I mean? Because it is a serpent, so yeah. But it does not work with Kiora, unfortunately. Is that everything, actually? Oh, no, we got 2 Meeting of Minds in here. This is a 4-mana instant speed, draw 2 cards, and it has Convoke. So Convoke is just your creatures can help you cast this spell. So I think this is an underplayed blue spell all around, but it's kind of just, it's probably because the type of decks that play blue right now, but we have a lot of ways to get creatures out there. I think Meeting of Minds also obviously works really well with Invasion of Segovia too, so. The mana base, guys, we have a couple Spara's headquarters because this is actually a great way to search up a green source with the Tidal Terror with the island cycling. So yeah, a couple Spara's headquarters. We have all 4 of the coasts, all 4 of the Cascades. We have a single Rockfall Vale. We got 4 of the Shivan Reefs in here. We really are just splashing the red source for the Vodalian Mindsinger here. Hopefully the pain lands don't end up killing us early on because, you know, there's a lot of aggressive decks floating about. Even the mid-range decks really know how to plug a lot of damage through. So yeah, hopefully these don't hold us up too much. Oh, obviously we got Who Endures and a Soaring City and heavily leaning towards the blue sources in this one, guys. Okay, a lot of honorable mentions. I considered Secluded Courtyard for this one, but I just think having the actual dual land will be a little better. I think Courtyard will hold us up every now and then. I thought about Tolarian Terror. I don't think it would fit this build, but I think it would be a neat concept to try Tolarian Terror with a Kiora sometime. I don't know. I think it would be a neat concept. Thought about Devious Cover-Up since we're potentially sending stuff to the grave with the Wayfinder and stuff. I think it's a great counterspell. More Merfolk. I'm not going to go over them, but Tachiova and Tide Turner and the Skyclave Aerialist. I thought about all of these Merfolk, but they did not make the cut this time. I thought about some protection spells like Slip Out the Back and Shore Up, and if we were to add protection to this deck, then I think it would be Shore Up, because we really don't want to phase things out, like the Mindsinger, for example, so just something to think about, I suppose. Alrighty, guys, I hope that's everything. This one's definitely out of my comfort zone, so hopefully I'm able to pilot it well. I do think it's actually going to be a little bit challenging to pilot, so I'm a little nervous, but I'll be fine. Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. Alrighty, let's see if we get right into that first game. Of course we do, right? It's not even a question nowadays. Always find that game right away. What am I expecting from the build? I mean, it's in the title, man. I called it Merfolk Jank for a reason. Okay, 2 land in hand. We got 25 in here. I think this is a solid hand, actually. With 25 in the deck and a lot of stuff to do for 2 mana. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now the ranks just reset, so now's the time to play Jank too, so. Alright, we'll get that island down. Probably right into the Wayfinder. It blocks relatively decent, I guess, against Mono Red. Yeah, I don't know, man. Mono Red going first here. Syncopate doesn't hit the Phoenix check because, you know, X would be 0. They opt for the counter on the Phoenix chick. Okay. I think going first here would have been pretty important. Wayfinder might block Swift Spear well on the ground, but it probably just gets caught up with a lightning strike. But I don't think keeping Joint Exploration and Make Disappear open is the play either. Yeah, Kumano's about to flip, and if we kept a counterspell open there, like, we're still taking a ton of damage. Phoenix chick, okay. That's good news, because it's not a lightning strike, which means we held up their ground attack. Oh. Well, surprised they didn't swing with Swift Spear if they have something fancy here. We try to block. Yeah, I'm surprised they held back the Swift Spear then, right? Oh, it was sorcery speed. I see. Oh, that makes sense, opponent. I wasn't thinking about that. Okay. So we go Wayfinder, block on the ground. They have 3 in the air still. Can get headquarters down. Tapped. Reef, Joint Exploration, that doesn't seem great. We find an untapped source with it. This would have been a good game to have like a Fading Hope just to try to tempo out just a little bit more than what we're seeing. All right, well, I think it's Wayfinder number 2. Get the headquarters down. How you guys feel about that? Mechanized Warfare. Oh, buddy, we are in some serious trouble. Oh, they keep Swift Spear back again, even though that would have killed the Wayfinder. I'm guessing they just didn't want us to ramp on Wayfinder, like have us take the damage and then let us ramp. That's my guess. Hullbreaker Horror not doing too much here. It's only our 4th turn, guys. Oh my goodness. Alright. We got Make Disappear and Joint Exploration open and Syncopate, technically. Joint Exploration can bring the Reef down. See, we don't need that red source right now, technically, so... Yeah, we saved the blocker. This is not looking great, guys. Ooh, okay. So we Syncopate for 3. We're taking a ton in the air still, and then we're able to block here. Make Disappear doesn't hit it. So Syncopate for 3. Let's do this. I think keeping a hasty creature off the board is fine. And at least we finally were able to hit something, right? Down to 2. Let's see what we see here. So the Phoenix chick is going to get this regardless, right? So I suppose it would be Joint Exploration, right? And I'll kick it too, because we could see that extra mana, and we might as well. We just might as well go for it, you know what I mean? Second Wayfinder is pretty cool. Whoop, put a land onto the battlefield, there we go. Even though, so if we had an extra land, then we could have done it that way too, but yeah, we might as well swing. It's over regardless, so we might as well have some fun with it. Oh, they block with the Swift Spear. How dare! Huzzah! Hexcatcher! I think going first here maybe would have helped us a little bit, you know? Like, because we had the Make Disappear and the Syncopate ready, we might have been able to pick up some early counters there. You know, going first, maybe we would have been able to counter the Mechanized Warfare, for example, and stuff, but overall, that would have been an uphill battle for sure. Mono Red is in a great spot. Super aggressive right now, so... I also enjoyed the opponent being a little bit more cautious there and keeping back some swings. I would have been completely reckless and just just swung in with everything every time, you know? But no, they played that out very well. Alright, opponent, what you got for me, buddy? Not mono red, just so I can see some variety here. Uh-oh, they're going first. Okay. We got a lot of land. a lot of pain land. But at least we have the island. Hello, opponent. Howdy. Hey, joint exploration, that's good. Alright, get the island down. We might be up against some mono blue here. Drop a consider. That's most likely mono blue. I have been seeing a larger variety of decks recently, so we'll see. It could be something else with a consider. Okay, second island. Lucky us, we can just pass it right back as well. We got a lot of stuff open. This might be a great match for us. Even though they went first here, I think it might be alright. Alright, we'll attempt the flash on Hexcatcher number 1. Yeah, against mono blue, we might be... I don't want to call it evenly matched because mono blue is pretty well solved, you know, but I don't know. Ooh, another Hexcatcher. I don't mind seeing that. We have Terror if we want to thin the deck. It's probably joint exploration when it comes time, though. We could just do something this turn, so that way they don't counter, but if we go joint exploration kicked, this could be a spell pierce. So I think we just try to counter whatever they play, and see if they counter our counter, right? They could play Island, and then they could go for their Djinn. And then we go Make Disappear, and then they go Spell Pierce the Make Disappear, right? So, it really depends. There's the Island. Hottie Djinn. Well, so far it's playing out like I said, but... yeah, we gotta try the Make Disappear. There's no way we don't try this, man. Ooh, it was not a Spell Pierce. That's awesome for us, man. That is very good for us. Yeah, we just keep it all open. Even though, like, I guess... we don't have a counter spell. These have flash and everything. I'd rather them not get countered. This is fine. I think keeping it all open is fine. I think what we'll do is probably joint exploration, find a land, and then cast out the Hexcatcher. If it's allowed hitting now. So maybe we did play it last turn when they only had one. I don't know. I really don't. Because they could counter this now, and then it's the same concept. They'll have less. Oh, Invasion of Segovia is pretty good. Let's get the land and draw Invasion next turn. I like both of those, actually. Put this on the field and then drop the Hexcatcher. Hexcatcher number 1. Probably going to be another Scatter Ray since they let the joint exploration go through. So that's a pretty good card to let us play. You know what I mean? All right, Hexcatcher number 2. Man, if we could have gotten all 3 of these on the board, that would have been insane. Buffing each other. I guess they're only 1/1s, so it's not that insane, but it still would have been really neat. Scatter Ray number 2. Okay. Scatter Ray has less targets now that Bankbuster's gone. I still like the addition, though. Alright, they have 3 remaining. We'll still have 2 open for joint. Tidal and the Hexcatcher. So I'm gonna go Invasion. Even if it's a Make Disappear, we have the 2 open now, which is awesome, dude. All right, very nice. And I guess we just keep it all open, make them sweat a little bit. A Moment of Truth. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Okay, hold on, let me put it over here. Put one of those cards into your hand, 1 into the grave, and 1 on the bottom of your library. Nice. Cool. We don't get to see that card too often. It totally makes sense for mono blue, putting something into the grave like that too. Okay, Terror comes down. We don't actually have the counterspell, so that's a great blocker for them. I wonder if we end up I think we're going to need this as a creature. So what do you guys suppose here? Joint exploration, see what we see. Over a Hexcatcher counter. Because so far they haven't had a counter for any of our non-creature spells. So, okay, a couple Deeproot Wayfinders on the top. Those do not get past the Terror very well. If we can get the Hexcatcher down, though. Let's send one and draw one and see if we get a land on the top. I'd love to get this Tidal Terror on the board. Meeting of Minds, actually, huh? Okay. Well, we're going to attempt the Deeproot Wayfinder. Yeah, Terror blocks so well. I'd love to flip this at some point, but... Okay. So we have Flash, Hexcatcher, and tap everything for Meeting of Minds on their turn. Or we could tap some stuff this turn to look for... I guess we'd want to wait. Because they might attack, and we might want to chump. Okay. Okay. I think we just hold everything back. It's tough decisions, because the more you let Mono Blue draw, the more they can counterspell your stuff too, so... It's kind of a tricky balance of what the heck do we want to do on our turn, you know what I mean? Okay, so I will chump here. And do we want to go Meeting of the Minds, keep 2 open? Yeah, I guess we do. Right? Maybe. Gotta wait for them. They must have something in hand as well. So we're gonna go you. Oh, it auto-tapped the green source. I don't think that matters. It would matter if we had 3. Okay, they go Moment of Truth here. If we had more Merfolk, a double block could have been successful, and then like flash in the Hexcatcher. That could have been cool. But these are just Krakens, so... I love the whole sea theme that we got going on in this build, man. This is a cool match so far too. A couple of land. I don't mind seeing it. Like, Who Endures probably won't come into play in this game. Probably flash out the Hexcatcher and then try to play the Tidal Terror next turn. Hopefully the creature hits though, because 2 Scatter Rays in, they might have a 3rd in the build. There's a Spell Pierce. 2 Moment of Truths, 2 Considers. Yeah, they have so many more counter spells in this build, guys. Of course, we'd rather the Terror hit the board than the Hexcatcher, so if we get another counter spell out of their hand now, that's not too bad for us. Also, they tapped too, so they must have like Fading Hope, some kind of protection available. Fading Hope for Wayfinder to slow that down. Oh, Dispersal actually. It costs 2 less to cast if it targets an attacking creature. Return target creature to its owner's hand, then surveil 2. I like the opponent's version of Mono Blue. I can't complain about it, man. I like it. I love the Moment of Truth, and I think the Dispersal's a really cool addition too. I really like it. So we could swing twice at this. We have Make Disappear. We might want to keep a Chump Blocker back, but I don't think so. I think we're going to want to flip the Sea Tyrant as soon as possible. And the reason to keep a Chump Blocker back is because the Tidal Terror might not hit. But if it doesn't hit, I think I'm okay with that. Let's see what happens. They didn't have a counter for the Hexcatcher, and they only have, oh yeah, they only have 1 island open, guys. They drop us a nice, hey, thank you. Thanks. I think that nice is genuine. Oh, man. Yeah, a 5/6 blocks the Terror really well. So they could find another Dispersal or another Fading Hope too. Yeah, we try the block. So it's probably a dispersal, but like we still. No, that's target attacking creature. So I don't know what this is other than just protection. Oh, shore up. Oh, well, Hexcatcher doesn't stop the shore up. Nice opponent. That gets around the 5/6. Hopefully we see our Hullbreaker. Oh no. Oh crap. The Haughty Djinn lands and we're in a bad position now. So if we would have taken the 5, even if we kept the 5/6, that Haughty Djinn was going to land on the board. We're in a real tough spot now, guys. Yeah, they definitely had the 1 to pay here. This is artifact, enchantment, or non-basic. We could play the land just for the sake of playing it. I don't think Who Endures is going to come in handy here. I just don't. And having more mana open when it comes time to get bigger stuff might be okay. Alright, I'm going to play the land. We have Make Disappears open. But we are in some serious trouble unless we see something great off the top. Yeah, they got Shore Up in here. I'm pretty sure Mono Blue doesn't usually run Shore Up. I actually just really like the opponent's deck. I appreciate the variety, man. What can I say? We've seen a lot of the same Mono Blue for just weeks on end now, and this is just a little different, and I appreciate that. It actually makes me want to try this dispersal. Like this seems like perfect for it. That Surveil 2 and everything. Okay, so they have 1 card in hand. We have a chance to flip this. We could take 14 down to 5. Then the Haughty Djinn wraps this up next turn either way, because if they play something, anything off the top, unless it's just land. So we just take this. Because Haughty Djinn will probably get up to 10 regardless, so... Ooh, Kiora is just such a cool draw, man. We'll keep the Make Disappear so we can actually... So we got Chump here. Okay. We actually have the untap too from the Serpent. Okay. Let's see what the Surveil is here. So we get the Serpent. Remember, that does not work with the Kiora because it's not from hand. Soaring City. Is there a way for me to draw this? Crap, I don't think there is. Anything on the board? Now I got Make Disappear, Kiora. Soaring City could keep us in this. I'm actually just going to keep it on top, even though there's nothing we can do, though. Aw, man. Soaring City would have been so good. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I guess we could have just ramped with the Wayfinder. This was a great match, man. This was a fun one. I can't complain about this. Like our board is sick. Like, good game, opponent. I didn't drop it, unfortunately. That was fun. It's a good time. Okay, all right. Enough rambling. Let's hop into this next game. I think, yeah, that might have been another case where had we gone first, things might have lined up a little better for us. I think so. So let's see if we can go first here this time round. Oh, there we go. We go first. Hey, Spell Pierce, that's good. Honestly, I would have preferred to Make Disappear. Now that we're going first, I don't know what that Spell Pierce is going to hit necessarily. No green source to kick the joint exploration, but it's still something to help us find stuff. Like, Scry 2 draw a card just isn't bad. Alright, yeah. We give this a shot, man. Island. Yeah, the only thing I could think the Spell Pierce would have hit early would have been like a Kumano from Mono Red or something. We might still have an early target. Blood Tithe Harvester. Alright, let's go joint exploration, see what we see. Some land, Wayfinder. We can't actually play the Wayfinder, so I'm going to send it. We have no green source, guys. Which shouldn't hold us up too often. Okay. I am going to draw the land. I think we're going to need it. Okay, Spara's headquarters. That's our green source. Mindsinger does not hit Harvester. It's just gonna awkwardly be headquarters and just keep the Spell Pierce open, which would have been good if Fable of the Mirrorbreaker was still around, huh? Because that would have hit a turn 3 Fable. That's something to think about. Maybe Spell Pierce got a little worse now that Fable, Reckoner, Bankbuster, Invoke Despair is gone. Like, yeah, Spell Pierce would have hit a lot, man. So definitely something to think about there. Okay, we got Coast. Mindsinger still not able to kick here, and it still doesn't take anything on their board, because, man, that's a lot of power, isn't it? Okay, let's get that down, and we are in some serious trouble, man. We could get Mindsinger down as a chump blocker. Even then, they could just go Harvester, take it out, swing with Trespasser, and then pick it up from the grave. I don't know, man. I don't know. This one's not looking great. Down to 10. Maybe we can hit something with that Spell Pierce this turn. Maybe. But I don't think so. You know what? Why not? That's like one of the worst targets possible. But I think we're going to die like next turn. So I'm just playing it for the sake of playing it. The main reason, like we kick the Mindsinger. They have no idea what we're playing at this point. Power less than, so we take the Harvester. That's so funny, dude. All right, we go green. That way we don't take any damage. Take that Harvester, and then it's probably just like a go for the throat Mindsinger. But the good news is the Harvester didn't untap, so that might actually saved us a turn. I love that I wanted to hit something with Spell Pierce, and it was a research desk. Like, one of the worst targets. I know, guys, we could have kept the Spell Pierce in hand. I was just playing around overall. Yeah, go for the throat, get their Harvester back. If we survive, well, we survived the Glutton for the turn. Like I said, Harvester didn't untap, so... Early on, if we would have ramped on Joint Exploration, if I would have waited or found a green source, I guess, then the Hullbreaker could have potentially come down. They still had that go for the throat, though. Ooh, more land, guys. Oh my goodness. Well, hey, GG opponent. I mean, sometimes we just don't get it, man. I really wish I would have dropped the good game for the last one. Sometimes I'm so caught up in how fun the game actually was, I forget to drop them the GGs. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Apparently, yeah, I don't think we did anything that game, right? Yeah, I don't think we literally did anything. I should have sent the land from the joint exploration, but there's no guarantees that you're going to continue to see land. So I thought for a second, like, oh, we're going to need that land because eventually Hullbreaker, but nah. And then, yeah, that Spell Pierce was particularly bad, since it didn't have, like, all those banned cards that it could have potentially hit. Yeah, they're all banned now, man, so I don't know. Spell Pierce doesn't hit too much in Esper Legends either, which hopefully we're not up against right now. Okay. Tidal Terror can help us find some stuff, too. Alright, let's keep this. I think it's decent. 25 total land. Alright, Fading Hope will be open. Let's just not keep Fading Hope open, in case we top deck a Deeproot Wayfinder. If we top deck that, would be a much better turn 2 than keeping Hexcatcher open. Unless we had like a Make Disappear in hand. You just never know. Yeah, Deeproot Wayfinder, nice. It's nice when things play out that way. It's a really good blocker for the Vanguard at least, so. As a matter of fact, this might be like Brutal Cathar. Fading Hope doesn't work too well against Brutal Cathar. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And it all has ward as well. Uh-oh, guys, we're in trouble. Yeah, Mindsinger. It is power less than Mindsinger's power, not less than or equal to, so we'd have to get Hexcatcher down before the Mindsinger. Hexcatcher is open with the Fading Hope for next turn. Unfortunately, both would have us take a damage, but... Okay, so if we did it on our turn, then Brutal Cathar wouldn't have flipped. But it was still going to be 3 damage regardless. Another Vanguard. Okay, so we should bounce the first Vanguard before the ward comes into play, right? Even though we would be able to pay the ward cost, you just never know. Another land. At least it's not a pain land, right? And it's a blue source that isn't dealing damage to us. That's our draw, though. It's going to be Mindsinger next turn. I guess blue source that doesn't deal damage is fine. And I guess Hexcatcher needs to drop, and then we take their Vanguard, and then hope they don't have another Brutal Cathar in their hand. Because they probably want to play this now and flip the Cathar. Ah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Because I didn't want to pay the ward, but they still had enough to play everything anyways. But now they're not swinging with the Vanguard, at least. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place with all of these, man. All right, let's take the 7. That's really bad. Oh, jeez. Yeah, and the one game we were able to go first, we just yeah, so they pick up Hexcatcher with the Cathar flip then too. Crap, so if I didn't flash that out though, what would we have done? Oh my goodness, guys. All right, well, let's get a blocker down. Sometimes it's really funny just how bad certain situations could actually be. Because if we didn't flash this down, then we still wouldn't have been able to do anything anyways. Either way, Cathar was going to take it. So on our turn, I should have played Fading Hope, but they still would have been able to just play everything back anyways. Ah, good game, opponent? Question mark? All right, let's try one more, guys. We're 37 minutes in. I believe we can actually get there. Right now, I would say the play patterns and the draws were not great. I mean, obviously overall, but... So our best match was up against the mono blue, where we had the best chance of just passing it back and having that potential counter. So let's try to go first here. Let's have a good play pattern in hand before deciding anything. Okay, we go first. We don't have a green source. Fading Hope, Syncopate, Hexcatcher, Mindsinger. Okay, if we had a green source, I would call this the best hand of the evening. I think we keep this regardless of the green source, man. It's way leaning into the blue anyways, so... Yeah, unless we see a lot of green cards off the top, I'm not too concerned. Okay, second island. More soldiers. Uh-oh. At least we went first this time. Can actually Syncopate a 2-drop. Yeah, I believe we Syncopate that. X is 1. Yeah, hopefully we see more counter spells, honestly. That would be best case scenario. Alright, I'm just gonna get the island down. Hexcatcher is open. At this point, they just think we're mono blue. Okay, veteran. I will flash the Hexcatcher on top of it. Haha! And then I am gonna Fading Hope the Siege Veteran as well. Bye-bye, Siege Veteran. A little bit of tempo. Hexcatcher's pretty good, man. I'll keep that. Hexcatcher comes down next turn. We could have scribed looking for a green source too, but I think this is totally fine. Keep it as flash or damage. Go damage. Let's do this, man. Mindsinger is going to be great this turn. If they don't find a land and just go into Siege Veteran, we take that Siege Veteran pretty well. We see a land off the top. That a land would have been ideal too, but this is great. Because it comes in as a 4/4 because of our Hexcatchers. And we have Spell Pierce open. Spell Pierce doesn't stop. Let's go. Yeah, it doesn't stop a Brutal Cathar, but how cool is this, guys, huh? We're still not, like, drawing particularly well, but I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately, the Spell Pierce doesn't seem to be doing too much this time, but I think more testing's required overall with the Spell Pierce. I think you guys can successfully choose your counterspell of choice at that point, though. Ah, Make Disappear is drawn now. Okay. So let's get everything above the Sky Strike Officer in full swing, man. I mean, you can't ask for it. Oh, they just took it. GG opponent. I'll take it, dude. I mean, wins are hard to come by with a deck like this, apparently. So I'll take the victory. That played out so much better. I think I was right. If we had a green source, that would have been the best hand of the evening. And after that game, maybe we did get a little unlucky in a lot of those games. I think the deck still deserves the title of Jank, but that kind of proved at least a little bit of the concept. I think the mono blue match was really good too. I think that is proof of concept as well. But all right, let's go over this deck again. Wait a minute, what's this pack? Brotherhood, or yeah, I almost said Brotherhood's End. That's funny. The Brothers' War. Ah, gems. All right. Sometimes I like to crack the pack because maybe we'll get something cool, but not that time, huh? Okay, here's the deck list again, guys. Merfolk, Jank, indeed. All right, Spell Pierce. I brought it up in a lot of those games. I don't know if it's doing too much nowadays. I guess it really comes down to what are you seeing? The new version of Rakdos that we went up against today was a lot of creatures, not a lot to hit with Spell Pierce. I think Spell Pierce was much, much better before the bans. So what would I go up? Could you go up the 4th Syncopate and be successful with it? Maybe. I think Syncopate is fine, and it's definitely something you like to see early on, too. Obviously, you really want to go first in this meta in general, and this deck really wants you to go first as well. I think Joint Exploration was really good. I'm surprised we struggled to see green sources again, guys. Like, I don't like to blame things on luck too often, but look at all these green sources in the mana base. Who Endures, Rockfall, all 4 of the Cascades, all 4 of the coasts, and the 2 Spara's headquarters that we could have searched with the Tidal Terror as well. That's a lot, man. So, I mean, I guess we could make the case for dropping an island and going up a forest. Even then, I don't know if I would do that necessarily. I don't know. There's going to be moments where if you do go first, then you don't mind a turn 1 like Spara's headquarters. So I could see the case for a 3rd headquarters too. But you really only need the 2 to make sure you can grab the green source off the Terror's island cycling, right? So maybe another dual land, the life gain dual land that I can't remember the name of for blue-green. Tangled Islet. No, that's not the one. I'm sorry, guys. Where is it? Right here it is. Thornwood Falls. I could see dropping an island going up a falls. It really depends. There were multiple games today, though, where we didn't have the green source, right? And one of them we mulliganed, and the other one we didn't, and we were quite successful without it. But then right away we drew the Deeproot Wayfinder, which would have been a good play, I guess. I don't know. Everything kind of worked out pretty well in that last game, so... Kiora is cool. We only saw it in one game today, right? And we weren't able to like use the ability or anything. It's just a pretty powerful Merfolk overall, I would say. Like a 5-mana, 4/5 Vigilance Ward 3 that has the Merfolk tag, so it works with the Hexcatcher. That's not bad. And then the bottom ability, you know, I mean, there's a lot of cool synergies in here, man. I actually really like the Mindsinger, but there's so much removal still everywhere regardless. Like, it immediately got picked up by Go for the Throat that one game, which would have been a strong case for the Spell Pierce being open at that point, right? But even when we did get the Mindsinger down, I believe we kicked it, so we were tapped out anyways. So if I didn't play the Spell Pierce earlier as that joke, we still didn't have the open mana for the Mindsinger anyway, so. I could make a case for a 26 land, actually. I don't think that would be bad. If you do have the 26, maybe it's just like the Rockfall Vale. Go up a second one of these, right? If you go up to 26 land total, what would I cut? Maybe it's the Spell Pierce. Maybe. I don't know. I still like the one of kind of, but yeah, I just kind of felt weak today. Maybe the 3 joint explorations, maybe we could go down to 2 of these. I think joint exploration is a very good card, though. But that could be the cut. Down to 2 joint explorations, go up the 26th land. At that point, though, the more land you have, the more you like joint exploration because it helps you get that extra land onto the field faster. Ah, man, what to cut, what to cut. Guys, let me know in the comments, what would you add or take out? I think this was still a fun time, even though we got pretty destroyed in some of those games. Overall, while it is janky, I think more testing still required. I think while it is jank, there's some underlining power here somewhere, maybe, right? I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, right? I do really enjoy jank overall. Alrighty guys, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video, then for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.